Picture this. It's 1970 and you're sitting in the garden at your mother's house holding your 18-month-old daughter in your lap. All of a sudden, your mother's new puppy jumps onto your lap and bites your baby girl across the face. The wound is deep, resulting in over 18 years of reconstructive, cosmetic, and plastic surgery. What breed would be so aggressive? It must be a pit bull, right? It's not uncommon to assume the pit bull is the breed behind violent human attacks, but this life-altering damage was done by a Labrador. So why does this matter? While pit bulls may not be the most likely to bite a human, they sure are the most likely to be accused and penalized by society for aggressive behavior. Despite media portrayals, pit bulls, like any other dogs, are the result of their owner's treatment and should not be innately labeled as threats to society. Contrary to popular belief, the phrase pit bull is actually an umbrella term referring to a variety of breeds. This includes the American Pit Bull Terrier, the American Staffordshire Terrier, and the Staffordshire Bull Terrier, and any mixes of those breeds. Due to their bulky body type and strong build, pit bulls are often villainized as dangerous and lethal creatures. But this wasn't always the case. In fact, it wasn't until recently that pit bulls acquired their dangerous persona. During the 1920s, pit bulls were the breed of choice for the American government, who used their image on wartime posters to portray bravery and strength. During this time, pit bulls were just considered regular dogs. They were even frequently featured in advertisements, posters, and magazines as a representation of the all-American dog. During the Victorian era, pit bull breeds used to be considered the perfect nanny dog because of their loyal character, nurturing mentality, and high tolerance for children. So, how did pit bulls acquire such a bad reputation? Since the 80s, the media has unfairly targeted pit bulls as aggressive and dangerous dogs, developing an association between pit bulls and hypermasculinity. Between 1987 and 2000, the New York Times published 72 stories covering pit bulls. Of those articles, over a third covered pit bull attacks on people, 22 covered legislation restricting pit bull ownership, and 9 highlighted pit bull owners as society's lowlifes. This hyper-focused negative representation has led pit bulls to become the dog of choice for many irresponsible breeders and owners. In a study published by the National Canine Research Council, researchers discovered that a majority of dog bite-related fatalities could be attributed almost entirely to owner mismanagement. As a result, a majority of pit bulls are left neglected and, consequently, unfixed, which increases their likelihood of participating in a fatal attack. But what exactly does this mean for pit bull breeds? Sadly, this combination of poor ownership practices and harsh media representation has created a vicious cycle in which pit bulls are deemed aggressive and then bought by owners who misuse their potential in violent ways, further perpetuating their aggressive representation. Despite the fact that controlled studies have not identified this breed group as disproportionately dangerous, the pit bull stigma normalizes their use in violent acts and extremely reduces their chances of getting adopted. Simply their name alone is enough to scare people away. Dogs categorized as a pit bull by shelter workers spend more than 3 times longer in a shelter on average than similar-looking dogs not specified as pit bulls. As a result, pit bulls also are subjected to higher chances of euthanasia. This is complicated by the uncertainty surrounding pit bull breeds. Due to their ambiguous definition, shelters across America misattribute the label pit bull to various shelter dogs, increasing their chances of euthanasia as well. This stigma not only deteriorates many shelter dogs' chances of being adopted, but continues to perpetuate pit bulls' participation in violent acts. Activist groups, such as the American Pit Bull Foundation, continue to counter their aggressive representation through education, but their efforts don't have to end there. Simply removing breed labels could be a low-cost step towards improving pit bull adoption rates and reducing the length of stay for all shelter dogs.